I finished my reread of The Dream Thieves, book 2 in the Raven cycle, and historically this book has been my least favorite in the series, and I have a feeling that may hold true. Not that I don't like this book, it's still great, but comparatively to the rest of the series, my least favorite. This one does focus the most on Ronan's character, and he is probably my least favorite of our kind of main perspective characters. Not that I don't like him, I do like his character, and he is important to the whole gangsy. I wouldn't want him to not be there, but once again, comparatively, I find his character just less complex and compelling to follow. I find a lot of the other characters much more interesting to figure out, much more interesting to follow their arcs, and I also just find them much more endearing for one reason or another. Also, because we're focusing so much on Ronan, it also spends a lot of time on Kavinsky, who is a character that I truly could not care less about. I actually completely forget him every time. Every time I restart this series, I am surprised that this character exists, and since so much of Ronan's storyline is tied with Kavinsky's story, it's just not a recipe for me having as good a time in this book as I have in the first book. However, overall, of course I still really enjoy this. I just love spending time with these characters, with the gangsy. I love them all so dearly, getting to see them all progress in their stories. One of the things that I think is interesting about this one is that it holds this moment of being like right before the tipping point of so many things about these characters and their character development, especially for Adam's character and Ronan's character. This is kind of like right before this tipping point, before some change or revelation that is going to push them into that like next phase of character development, character growth. And so in some ways, being in this like moment before the tipping point can be quite frustrating sometimes, because you're so close to like getting it, or they can see that there's something that's not working and they're right before something clicks for them. And so both Adam and Ronan have some kind of revelation, some kind of change that happens for them towards the end of this book that is going to really propel them forward and make a big change in how their characters are growing and showing up in future books, which I am really excited for. It also is kind of a tipping point. How many times can I say the word tipping point? But it is also kind of that for Blue's relationship to both Adam and Gansey. Like, things are really shifting in this book, especially like right at the end, and I think it's going to be really interesting and exciting to see the ripples that it creates in the third book, which I'm really looking forward to reading. I have more to say about some of the themes, and of course more to say about Adam as my favorite character, but I will do a part 2.